Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. We're calling the roll for the Monday, January 7th Board of Control meeting. It's now 11:03 a.m. Nan Baker.
Here.
Dale Miller.
Here.
Joe Nani, serving as an alternate for Dan Brady.
Here.
Mike Dever. Armin Budish.
Here.
Lenora Lockett. Dennis Kennedy. We have a quorum.
Thank you. The minutes from December 17th. Are there any changes, questions, comments? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Nani. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? The minutes are approved. Any public comment?
No public comment at this time,
And no tabled items?
and no tabled items.
Let's go.
First item is item number BC 2019-01, Department of Public Works, recommending an award on requisition 43769 and enter into a contract with Fabrizi Recycling Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $320,564.25 for the replacement of Bradley Road, culvert number 0067, over a tributary of the French Creek in the city of North Olmsted.
Nicole English with Public Works. We're recommending this award to Fabrizi. There was 10 bids submitted, and Fabrizi was the lowest and the best. And our engineer's estimate was $500,000, and they came in at $320,000 and some change, so 35% under. So we got a pretty good price on this.
Thank you. Questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilwoman Baker. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Item passes. Thank you.
Item number BC 2019-02 is a two-part item. Department of Public Works, A, recommending an alternate procurement process on requisition 44324, which will result in an award recommendation to LF Donnell, Inc., doing business as Donnell, Inc., in the amount of $202,370 for the purchase of two 2019 Ford F-550 house trucks for use by the Sanitary Division, and B, recommending the award in connection with said alternate procurement.
Good morning, Mike Chambers of Public Works. We're asking for approval of this item. There was a formal bid that was done back in September. We had two respondents to the bid. What ended up happening, there was a little bit of confusing on the extended warranty. One bidder bid the bumper-to-bumper, and the other one did the engine only. We asked both to go ahead back and do on the bumper-to-bumper, at which time they did, and we're awarding now to the lowest, which is approximately $5,000 cheaper.
Questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Nani. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Item passes. Thank you.
Item BC 2019-03, Department of Public Works, submitting an amendment to an agreement with Cuyahoga Soil and Water Conservation District for technical assistance with various activities in connection with the implementation of soil and water conservation measures in accordance with Ohio Revised Code, Chapter 940, for the period March 27, 2018 through March 26, 2019, to extend the time period to March 26, 2020, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $14,000 for A, storm pollution activities in the amount not to exceed $8,500 associated with the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System covered construction activities, and B, for public involvement in public education program activities in the amount not to exceed $5,500.
Mike Chambers again with Public Works. We've been teaming up with Soil and Water for about 8 to 10 years now. This helps us with our EPA MS4 permit. It's a great relationship, and it's actually a very economical price to help us with our stormwater management and education on our projects.
Thank you. Questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Item passes. Thank you.
Next item, BC 2019-04, Department of Information Technology, on behalf of the Office of Homeless Services, submitting an amendment to a contract with Wellski Corporation, formerly known as Bowman Systems, LLC, for maintenance and support on Service Point software for Homeless Management Information System. And it's for the period January 1st, 2016 through December 31st, 2018, to extend the time period to December 31st, 2019, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $26,335.
Good morning, Shari. We're Office of Homeless Services. We're requesting a one-year extension on the contract. The Homeless Management Information System is required by HUD, and this allows us to report and stay in compliance, and also for all of the organizations who are funded through the homeless assistance HUD dollars to have the licenses and upgrades and so forth for reporting.
Thank you. Questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Item passes. Thank you.
Next item, BC 2019-05, Fiscal Office, recommending an award on requisition 44230 and enter into a sole source contract with Manatron, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $115,330.09 for the purchase of Marshall and Swift rate tables data licenses, and is for the period January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019.
Good morning, Lisa Rocco, Fiscal Office. Manatron Inc. owns our current real property tax system, which encompasses the computer-assisted mass appraisal system as well. The Marshall and Swift cost tables are an industry standard nationwide, and they are utilized in all appraisal practices, including mass appraisal, as a replacement cost estimator for all property types.
Thank you. Questions? Councilman Miller.
Will this system be superseded when the new real estate system goes into effect, or do the two have nothing to do with each other?
It will be replaced, yes.
And when is the new system supposed to be operational?
By the end of this year.
And if it's operational earlier, are we able to get out of this contract and get a prorated reduction, or are we committed to a full year of service on this contract?
To a full year.
Further questions? Councilwoman Baker.
On the response detail, it says, please, the purchase is compatible with the new ERP system and to be determined. Do you know now whether that answer is correct or?
No, I do not. The new real property system will be compatible once up and running, if that's what they're referring to.
It just says, are the purchases compatible with the new ERP system? And the answer is to be determined.
Okay.
I can
Mr. Kennedy.
address that. This system is to support the existing real property system. So as Councilman Miller indicated, the new real property system, the Harris system, will take the place of this. There is going to be some small integration factors, but it's not relevant to this contract.
All right. Thank you.
Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Baker. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item is a two-part item, item BC 2019-06, Department of Health and Human Services, Office of Reentry. A, submitting an RP exemption on requisition 44158, which will result in an award recommendation to Track Bill LLC in the amount not to exceed $2,999 for legislative tracking for government affairs professional online subscription services, and is for the period September 11th, 2018 through September 11th, 2019. And B, recommend the award in connection with said RP exemption.
Good morning, Fred Bolliton with the Office of Reentry. As indicated, this is a subscription service for tracking legislative updates. One question that I'm sure would come up is if this the service is for a period starting of September, why we are here now. First of all, they offered a 3-month trial before it was paid, and then it was the thought from our fiscal person that this could be paid by voucher, and found out could not. Submitted it through this process, so it ordinarily would have been last month paid, but it was a misunderstanding in how it could be paid. So that is why this is a service that it's not unique. There are other services but this provides information both for Ohio and tracks federal legislation as well. And the basic license comes with 5 users, so that there would be opportunity for other government departments to make use of this as well, or perhaps, if that is not needed, to take some of our reentry-related nonprofits or atoms or so and subcontract for a portion of that.
Thank you. Any questions? Councilman Miller. Mr. Nani.
It was in the questions that we had sent over. A lot of county agencies already use Gongwer. I'm not saying that you have to, but in terms of looking at a price differential. But additionally, if you're looking for these types of services, CCAO is a very good resource to assist with actual legislation going through. That's something that the county already pays for, as well as our lobbyists that we have.
Yeah, I am, to be honest, I am not the one who researched this, and I'm not sure if comparisons were made or not, but it definitely is a good idea that we all are in sync of knowing what's out there, and if we can, again, make better use of that, right?
I would just encourage, I like the idea that you had relative to using other county agencies. You may want to take a look at other county agencies that already have contracts to maybe get their license or something along those lines for the future. So it's a small amount compared to what we pay.
Certainly would do that in the future and try and get a better comparison of those services.
Right. So, that's all I have.
Those are all good comments. I agree. Councilman Miller.
What was the procurement process on this? What was the procurement process on this?
Well, originally, it was, I said, I thought it would be able to be paid straight through a voucher. But otherwise, it was just there are not many, and I don't know that the person in our office who researched found others' services, but it's not something that could be really in a competitive bidding, because these are just subscriptions. It's not something that people bid for. And as I say, I'm not sure that they knew about some of the other services or specifically found this one to be better. I was not familiar with Gongwer up until a few minutes ago.
The other question I have is that it surprises me that a single office would have a separate contract like this. It would seem to me that, I know we have representation in Columbus, and it would seem to me that this is something that we would do countywide for all the departments, and it would probably be a lot more cost effective as opposed to doing it individual department by department.
Yep, I agree with the last two comments from Mr. Nani and from Councilman Miller. I would like to hold this a week and have your office take a look at whether, in fact, this is truly needed in light of the other services we have available. Is that agreeable to the other members? So please do that.
Okay.
Next item is a two-part item, item BC 2019-07, Cuyahoga County Law Cuyahoga County Law Library. A, submitting an RFP exemption on requisition 44339, which will result in an award recommendation to Fast Case Inc. in the amount of $6,409.65 for the purchase of online legal research database, ebooks, and other legal research materials. And B, recommending the award in connection with said RFP exemption.
Good morning. I'm Kathy Dugan. I'm the director of the Law Library. And Fast Case is a great product because it provides 24/7 access for our patrons. And it includes all primary law, plus 26 e-libraries of books. And in those e-libraries, there are 163 ebooks that people can access. And they're on discrimination, employment law, bankruptcy, construction, e-commerce, law practice, you name it.
Any questions?
I have one.
Yes, Councilwoman Baker.
Would this be an update to what you already have?
It's a subscription service. Instead of buying books and print, they offer these electronically, so it's an annual renewal.
So if I may just follow, so it's the same as what we have been doing?
Yes.
Just whatever has changed would be included?
The price.
In the new, or any new laws?
And any new books, yes, each of the ebooks within the collection
Right.
is updated on a periodic basis. In fact, just this morning, I learned that the state-by-state guide to real estate law, commercial leases, is brand new.
And that's updated throughout the year?
That's
not just at
correct.
time?
Whenever the authors or the vendors of the books provide the updates, then Fastcase absorbs those new additions.
Thank you.
It's been a while since I've done this kind of legal research, but back when I was a youngin', LexisNexis and Westlaw were two of the services that we used. Are those still in place? Is this duplicative in any way? Do you use those other ones?
The county had an RFP out for legal research online, and they went with Lexis, and the law library is part of that, so we do have that. We also subscribe to Westlaw. That's coming up for renewal in the spring. They do offer separate resources. Westlaw does have different search engine capabilities than Lexis, so we offer both. Fastcase is a second-tier product. If you're familiar with products like CaseMaker from the Ohio Bar, Fastcase from the Cleveland Bar, what they do is they offer 24/7 access that my library cannot offer for Lexis and Westlaw. And those ebook libraries are unique, just like the ebooks on Westlaw and Lexis. They each publish different treatises, maybe on the same topic, but treat it totally differently. And so these ebooks are unique books. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Further questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Dever. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, BC 2019-08, Department of Public Safety and Justice Services, on behalf of the Sheriff's Department, recommending an award on requisition 44121 and enter into an agreement with Chagrin Valley Dispatch Council in the amount not to exceed $195,000 for development, implementation, and hosting of a protection order registry. And it's for the period January 7th, 2019 through September 30th, 2019.
Good morning, Mary Beth Fawn from Public Safety, and this contract is for the development of a central data repository within the data warehouse that will allow users of the system to enter, track, and remove active protection orders. And I do have with me this morning Jill Smilek from the Witness Victim Service Center, who wrote the grant for this project, and Michael Herb, who is the project manager from the Sheriff's Department, if you have any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Mr. Nani?
I'm not an expert in this area, so I don't know if this is a dumb question or not, but don't we already submit to a national registry in some way for these things?
I'm going to actually defer.
Okay.
Hi, good morning. Jill Smilek from Witness Victim Service Center. It's a good question and one that we've worked through with a lot of various stakeholders. Right now, the state of Ohio has as many as 8 different protection orders that are coming from up to 16 different courts. So they do get input into a national system, but the issue is that police officers who are on the street trying to enforce those orders may not have access to them in order to understand them in a timely manner. Verifying them, calling back to the clerk's office, understanding the terms of them can take upwards of 30 minutes, and by that time enforcement is sometimes a moot point. So we don't want to duplicate any of the existing systems or wherever they're being entered. We want to make sure that we're pulling that data into one central place where a police officer or a victim advocate can access it in a timely manner.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Nani. All those in... Oh, I'm sorry. Councilman Miller.
My question is, how was Chagrin Valley Dispatch Council selected, and were others considered?
I'm going to have Mike Herb answer this question.
Mike Herb from the Sheriff's Department. Chagrin Valley is being used because they have built our data warehouse that we're using for law enforcement around the county. So this is an additional piece to our data warehouse specific to protection orders. So no one else was considered because of the contract that we have with Chagrin Valley that built the original data warehouse. So this was a cheaper avenue to kind of continue and do an add-on to what we already are paying for out there.
And since this was done without competitive bidding, do we need an exemption on this?
Actually, in this case, we do not need an exemption. It's considered, Chagrin Valley is a council of governments, so it's a government-to-government purchase.
I see, okay.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. Thank you.
The next item is a two-part item, BC 2019-09, Sheriff's Department. A, submitting an RFP exemption on requisition 44193, which will result in an award recommendation to Guardian Alarm Company in the amount not to exceed $6,000 for monitoring services on alarm systems located in various county buildings. And it's for the period January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019. And B, recommending the award in connection with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Lilia Lathan, Sheriff's Department. We are just requesting to enter into a contract with Guardian Alarm in order to be able to pay our quarterly bills, and we did a not to exceed of $6,000.
Thank you. Questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Item passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item is a two-part item, item BC 2019-10, Department of Health and Human Services, Community Initiatives Division, Office of Homeless Services. A, submitting an RFP exemption on requisition 41152, which will result in an award recommendation to Emerald Development and Economic Network, Inc., in the amount not to exceed $454,595 for facility management services for the Norma Herr Women's Shelter, located at 2227 Payne Avenue in Cleveland. And it's for the period January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019. And B, recommending the award in connection with said RFP exemption.
Shari, we're Office of Homeless Services. Eden owns the building that houses the women's shelter and so is responsible for providing building maintenance and repairs. The facility management services are provided at cost, and no one other vendor was considered because hiring outside vendors would increase the costs to maintain the project. So the contract service is based on actual cost for utilities, cleaning supplies, and maintenance contracts.
Thank you. Any questions? Mr. Nani.
Just one semi-related question. In the past, we've talked about trying to make sure that there was free Wi-Fi available for the residents of the shelter so they could do check their email and try to seek employment and things like that. Do you know if that's implemented?
I do not know, but Michael Dowd, who's Chief Operating Officer for Eden, I believe is here, and perhaps could answer that.
Okay.
Good morning, Michael with Eden Inc. At this time, there isn't any Wi-Fi on site, but that's something that we can take a look at.
Okay. Please, if you don't mind following up, that would be great. I know it's been discussed for quite some time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Further questions? Councilwoman Baker.
Yes, was there an increase from last year? This is a one-year contract?
Same amount.
Same amount as last year? And you are comfortable with the, as they say, the primary goals are assure a safe and clean environment for shelter user maintained system to operate economically, efficiently, and support the YMCA and program activities. All of that, you are very comfortable that these things will be accomplished with the amount of money that you're asking for?
Michael again with Eden. The facility adheres to the city code and also has a certificate of occupancy and also has to meet the requirements that have been set forth by the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services since they were part of the development team about 20 years ago.
So the answer is yes. All right, thank you.
Thank you. And I would add my voice to the request to look at Wi-Fi services there. It's critically important for people. Any other questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Dever. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. Thank you. And we're on to the exemptions.
Item BC 2019-11, Department of Public Works, submitting an RP exemption on requisition 44438, which will result in an award recommendation to RPF Properties LLC in the amount not to exceed $570,116.92 for lease of office space and parking spaces located at Meadowbrook Market Square Shopping Center, 22121 Rockside Avenue, Bedford, for use by the Auto Title Division, and it's for the period May 1st, 2019 through April 30th, 2024.
Good morning, John Myers on behalf of the Department of Public Works. We've been before you a couple times on several different legs of this overall project to create a new Southeast Auto Title office for the Fiscal Officer's Auto Title Division and have it co-located with the state's Bureau of Motor Vehicles and the License Bureau for the convenience of the citizenry. So today we are here asking for an exemption because we were looking to follow and be next to near the state. So they made their process and decision under their issues and mandates, and we are choosing this for to complete the concept in the project. So we are asking for an exemption, and we'll be going to council to seek approval for the actual lease.
Thank you. Questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Nani. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Item passes. Thank you.
Next item, BC 2019-12, Department of Public Works, recommending to amend board approval number BC 2018-142, dated March 5th, 2018, which authorized an alternate procurement process, which resulted in award recommendations to various providers for the purchase of ready-mix concrete to complete various department orders for the period March 1st, 2018 through February 28th, 2020, by adding the following providers: Cuyahoga Concrete Company, and B, Campbell Concrete and Supply.
Mike Chambers of Public Works. We appreciate back in 2018 we had this justification passed for us to utilize concrete vendors. Last year was a very difficult year trying to get vendors to come and supply us. You know, we're kind of small compared to some of the other projects. So we felt that adding a couple more of these vendors would allow us to, meet our needs a little more timely. So we're asking for approval.
Thank you. Questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. Thank you.
Next item, BC 2019-13, Department of Public Works, submitting an amendment to board approval number BC 2017-36, dated January 17, 2017, which authorized an alternate procurement process which resulted in purchase orders to various providers for medical, surgical, and animal care services for the period February 1st, 2017 through January 31st, 2019, to extend the time period to December 31st, 2021. No additional funds required.
Mike Chambers again, Public Works. Through our cooperation with council and everyone, we went ahead and passed a justification. We used to present these as mission critical, trying to get the animals the health care they need. We have about $131,000 remaining, and so therefore we asked to extend this for another year to continue what we've been doing, going to the closest veterinarian services that can help treat depending upon the type of service needed.
Thank you. Questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. Thank you.
Next item, BC 2019-14, Department of Sustainability, recommending an alternate procurement process to select Bike Cleveland to act as a consultant to run the request for proposals process in connection with the expansion of the Cleveland Cuyahoga Bike Share Program.
Mike Foley from the Department of Sustainability. Last year, we were able to win an award from NOACA for about $590,000 to expand the current bike share program that exists. When we did the first bike share program, we used Bike Cleveland to help us kind of navigate, who we should send proposals out to, run the proposal process. They did a great job. We had match money from the city of Cleveland that time, and so we had Cleveland, Cuyahoga County, and some nonprofits in the mix of the procurement process. Same thing this time. Cleveland's got $250,000 into as match. We've got some local nonprofits that are putting match up also. So we're asking that we do this alternative procurement process in order to develop kind of an expansion network for the system.
Thank you. Any questions? Councilwoman Baker.
Thank you for the breakdown. I didn't know how this worked. So the Cuyahoga County list of 18,000, is that our only contribution towards this?
Actually, this is extra match money that we had from the last round. So actually, Bike Cleveland came up with, they were supposed to come up with 70,000 match for the last round, and they came up with 88, I think. And so this 18 has been sitting in an account ready to be used for this time. Yeah.
Further questions? Councilwoman Baker.
Since we have a history now, how many users do you track, how it's being used, and what the results are?
Yeah, we do. Actually, I can find out on a moment-by-moment basis. I don't have them with me, but we've got over 25,000 individual rides. I think 30,000 individual rides. The thing they can count. The funny thing is they can count how many calories have been burnt on this thing. And so I know that last year we were able to we hit the 1 million calorie burnt mark at some point. So or maybe we're 2 million now. So I can find those things and get them to you.
Just interested how many actual riders take the bike and use it and bring it back. I'm sure that's all logged.
Yeah, no, we've got it. We can get it.
Great, thank you.
And we can actually where they go and
yeah.
So where the routes are that people
That'd be
take.
interesting to see how that works.
Yeah.
Good. Any further questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Miller. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. And it would be helpful. I would like to see that too.
Yeah.
Same information. Thanks.
Next item, BC 2019-15, Department of Health and Human Services, Community Initiatives Division, Office of Early Childhood, submitting an RP exemption on requisition 44214, which will result in an award recommendation to Child Care Resource Center of Cuyahoga County, doing business as Starting Point, in the amount not to exceed $1,974,636 for management and implementation of the Universal Pre-Kindergarten Program, and it's for the period January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019.
Good morning, Bob Stabe with the Office of Early Childhood. We're seeking approval of an exemption for our ongoing contract with Starting Point to provide services to our UPK providers. The basis for the exemption is that every 3 years, the state conducts a competitive process to identify the Child Care Resource and Referral Agency for Northeast Ohio, and in 2017, Starting Point was selected for that role. So they operate under the state guidelines and state mandates. They will, it's a 3-year process, so they would be again required to submit a proposal in 2020. In this role, Starting Point provides assistance to parents seeking child care. They provide assistance to child care providers. And they also provide assistance to employers who are seeking child care resources. And we're able to leverage all of those relationships to the benefit of our UPK program.
Thank you. Questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Nani. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.
Item passes.
Next item, BC 2019-16, Office of the Clerk of Courts, submitting an RP exemption on requisition 43949, which will result in an award recommendation to Federal Express Corporation in the amount not to exceed $3,500,000 for mailing services for the period August 1st, 2018 through July 31st, 2023.
Hi, good morning. Laura Black, Clerk of Court's Office. This is a contract for the FedEx services that are currently used for our first attempts of service. For service that's required by the Ohio Revised Code and Rules of Civil Procedure. This contract was originally entered into in 2014. At the end or the expiration of that contract in 2015, we worked with law to create a new contract. At that time, we were told it was a postage exemption and no contract was needed. Earlier this year in July, we were informed that a contract was indeed needed, so we are moving forward with this request.
Thank you. Any questions?
Yes.
Councilwoman Baker.
So was any money expended within that time?
Yes, we have continued to use the services since 2014.
And did you get a reason why the postage exemption wasn't adequate?
We did not.
Answer that.
Yes,
We
Mr.
are
Kennedy.
trying to comply with both recommendations of the state auditor and our internal auditor that whenever possible, all contracts be encumbered as opposed to be paid just directly on vouchers. It's a control standpoint, also helps with budgeting. So we've made a concerted effort over the past 6 months to push people into getting contracts and getting those contracts encumbered so that they're recorded in the system.
If I may, are you comfortable with payments being made even though we were out of contract?
I think we're still covered under the original exemption that had been approved.
We did actually work with the fiscal office to create an encumbrance. So we went through a process. We gave them some documentation associated to it and moved forward with approval to do
This
that.
is the actual construction of the contract itself.
Yes.
Further questions?
Just one more. When does this contract officially begin?
The start date was 8/1/2018, and it'll be for a 5-year term.
So it doesn't change to January 1st. It remains 8/1?
It will.
Yes, because that's when we set up the encumbrance to start charging the payments against them instead of doing direct payments of vouchers.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Any other questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Nani. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. Thank you. And we're up to the consent agenda, 17 through 22.
Just want to remind me to talk to you about this. And 12.
Does anybody have any questions? Last call for any questions?
Tell you right after this.
Seeing none, I move to approve the items on the consent agenda. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Nani. All those in favor of approving the items on the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The consent agenda items are approved, and I believe we have some other business.
I have 2 mission-critical items. They're both on behalf of the Department of Public Works. The first mission-critical item is recommending an award on requisition 44573 to Epic Energy Solutions in the amount not to exceed $24,661, and the funding source is Internal Services Fund / General Fund, and it's for mission-critical repairs to the Justice Center main electrical switch gear.
Good morning, Matt Reimer with the Department of Public Works. This item was, as stated, to the Justice Center main electrical vault, our main electrical switchgear there. During preventative maintenance performance of maintaining our various switchgear components in there, we discovered a condition of concern in one of our switchgear compartments. Specifically, this was with a CPT drawer in our switchgear for one of our main breakers. We immediately investigated that with First Energy and with our provider that was performing the preventative maintenance services, that was Epic Energy. We coordinated an outage the next night, and we found damaged components to the CPT drawer and also a damaged breaker. And while we had the switchgear down, we also performed code-required preventative maintenance on the remaining breakers while we were in the cabinet and had power off to them.
Thank you. I move to amend the agenda today to include this item. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Nani. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Agenda is amended. Any questions on the item?
Just one.
Councilwoman Baker.
How long do you think that this was compromised, and were we vulnerable at all to any incidences before that?
It's hard to say, but the condition of concern was a noise that
A noise complaint?
noise, which is bad in the electrical.
Right.
So
That and smoke.
we have people in those vaults all the time, and it's assumed that it was, a condition that just appeared not for a long period of time before it was discovered.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions? Seeing none, I move to approve the item. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Item passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next mission critical item is recommending an award on requisition 44577 to Orin LLC in the amount not to exceed $4,673.09, and it's for pest management at multiple county buildings, and the funding source is Internal Services Fund / General Fund.
Good morning, Tom Pavich, Department of Public Works. Requesting mission critical. This is pest management at multiple county buildings. The vendor is Orkin LLC. The dollar amount was $4,673.09. We had required bed bug treatments in multiple buildings before the new contract started. Bed bug treatment, you have to address those before they grow. So we authorize mission critical to get these addressed and taken care of to mitigate the problem.
I move to amend the agenda today to consider the item. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Nani. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item is added to the agenda. Are there any questions?
I do too.
Councilman Miller.
So do we have county buildings where bed bugs have been found, and where are they?
There's been indicators. I can't say without talking to my environmental health and safety manager that there's any bed bugs, but there was indicators, and when we had the actual contract approved, I think a question surfaced, where would bed bug treatment most highly be apparent at, and it was wherever there's a lot of heavy public foot traffic. Justice Center, the main floor of the Justice Center, Virgil Brown, Jane Edna, there's a lot of foot traffic. People not only bring in dirt, they could bring in bugs, not just bed bugs, but it could be other pests as well. So, there was indicators, and we needed to address those immediately.
Councilwoman Baker?
Yes, from memory, didn't we approve a contract?
We did.
That was to take care of.
That was for an actual, I think it was a 3-year contract. This was authorized before that contract started.
So the contract that we approved does not encumber?
No, we didn't want to do services before the contract started. That's why we had to get these addressed. We did the mission critical authorization just to mitigate the problem. Then the contract got approved. If anything surfaces, whether it's bed bugs, rodents, or anything else, we do have the contract with Orkin right now, currently covering that.
If I may, will this exhaust then whatever funds are left from that older contract?
This is going to be a separate DO. So this is a mission critical. We did it separate of any type of contract.
What was the date that these services were provided?
These were during the month of November at the Justice Center. We had multiple occasions. And then at Virgil Brown and Jane Edna, we had those in late October.
But the contract now that Councilwoman Baker is referring to would take care of this going forward?
Yeah, absolutely. The new contract started, I believe, December 10th.
December 10th. And just as a follow-up, so no funds have been given at this point? They're waiting to be paid?
That's correct.
Further questions? Councilman Miller has moved. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Nani. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item is approved.
Thank you.
Any other business?
No other business at this time,
Any public comment?
and no public comment.
I move to adjourn. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.